Welcome back to DataDash, folks. My name is Paul Sampson, and I'm going to come on here and do something that most people do not, and state that I was wrong about Bitcoin forming a potential short squeeze around that $119,000 area, and has since then seen a drop to the downside with those shorts that I was pointing out just about a day ago, 2 days ago, where we saw a ton of shorts coming into the market, and I was populating the idea that we could see that form a short squeeze to the downside, but instead we took over some key regions and the shorts gained control and took us down to some key regions. I'm going to talk about the price action right now. So folks, the small area I was looking at earlier this week was for Bitcoin to come down to this $120,000, $118,000 region. And had we held that and got a bounce from there, I was looking for basically a short squeeze, right? We had talked about it a couple times here, targeting up towards that $130,000 region. Now, the other level that I'd noted for the week, which at the time I wasn't too concerned with until we lost 119,000 pretty much, was the month pivot sitting here at $113,000, right? So this was an area that very likely we'd come back into in the month of October. So we came through it before I could even record this video. We blew right through it. So what is the overall outcome here? It's something that I've talked about basically leading up until this point. Now, I will admit that I've been targeting that $130,000 mark, but exercising as much caution as possible, being that we've only seen about a 5% difference between where we got and the timing originally when we came up to it. But I want to point out the number one setup that I think is playing out right now. And on top of that, point out that as well as when we have our weekly pivot, which is a level that is likely to be met this week, which we came down to, right? Then we have a monthly pivot, which is an area that is likely to be met in the month of October. Okay, we've come down to that. I want to point out this one down here, which is the 6-month pivot for Bitcoin, because if we continue any lower, that's more than likely where we're heading, okay, is down here to about $98,000. Now, I think that we could see a bounce to the upside before any kind of crazy continuation down happens. We've seen a really big liquidation event already. The altcoins are getting hit really well, and we did come into a major support area on the overall, or one of the two overall setups that I've been looking at for a long time here, folks. And that is this AB equals CD setup that had a completion time for the week of September 29th. And I was targeting a 1618 expansion is the reason why this 130 really came into play. But I've noted heavily, of course, you know, that only goes so far, right? But that in this whole region, you know, we were playing with fire to some degree to see a pullback here, with us pushing up to the 125 in August, and then of course putting our high in on this region here. This has been a very valid setup basically ever since August, and the main target of this is actually back down to our 0.382 of this overall C to D leg, and that sits at right about 106,000, which we just wicked into now. And the overall target is down here at 92,000, which we also have our 6-month pivot down here as well, which is likely to be met in the second 6 months of this year. So anywhere between now and the end of the year, right? So not to get too bearish at this point by any means, right? This is just pointing out that one of the biggest setups that we've been looking at is, I think, I mean, so far it's valid and target one has already been met. So that's just is what it is here, right? The secondary area is down in this area. This was a sizable setup, so I imagine we'd probably do spend some time before we just, you know, completely melt to the downside, but crazier things have happened. So where we have bounced from, I feel like this is probably a spot where we do get a little bit of a bounce from, okay? So this is just an emergency, you know, video here on a Friday night as I'm about to head out. I just wanted to kind of come out here and speak a little bit to this. So this was a pretty technical setup. I know there's some news that's going around right now. And again, I will state that even myself, I was looking a little bit more bullishly here at that 119, but all day long in the Discord, especially and managing this actively, we, you know, as soon as we lost that 119, I think even on a live stream today, I'd pointed out that under 119, we were at least looking for 113. And then here we are, right? So all the way down to that 104, whatever it got to. So this has been a smackdown move for the altcoins. It is a Friday afternoon. I will say I would just give it the weekend, let the dust settle, see how things kind of, you know, catch up here. More than likely we get at least a little support bounce from a lot of things. It looks like most things are already getting a bounce here. Next week brings new opportunities. I'll be updating, of course, through as much as I can throughout the weekend. Aside from that, I'll see you all on Monday. Try and enjoy your weekend as much as possible. I know days like this are very stressful, very frustrating, but we've been through worse. I'm sure there'll be more days like this to come. So keep your cool. I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, everybody, cheers.